What are we talking about, y'all? We're back with another react. Meek Mill crashed out and exposed Charlamagne the God today. Oh man, everybody getting exposed, man. This is just the generation of exposure, ain't it? Like, only exposure that we need to be concerned with is on our damn phones when we taking pictures. Would you agree? This is crazy. Let's get to it.
Meek Mill is currently on social media writing paragraphs and trying to expose Charlamagne the God after he's seen a clip on his timeline of Charlamagne the God discussing him on his podcast.
Y'all, when Drake went at Meek, Drake was a way bigger artist than Meek. So it was easier for those battles just to keep moving because there's nothing but upside. Nas, you win with Ether, right? Even though I think Takeover's a better song, but Nas, you win with Ether. So it's nothing but upside for you, right?
Yeah.
Sadly, Pac and Biggie got,
the smaller guy
killed.
always has the upside.
Meek never. I don't know.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying, like, Meek could have just kept doing music, but for some reason he didn't. Like, something was just off after the battle. You know what I mean? And he really, I mean, honestly, he didn't really recover.
I think it was probably because, I know it's early, but hey, I think it was probably because Drake was just the more favorite artist. I mean, he was everybody's, he's the industry's golden child, everybody's favorite rapper, so I think that's what it was. Meek Mill, for whatever reason. Me personally, I don't really care for Meek Mill. I know I probably might get some shade in the comment section, but me personally, I never really cared for Meek Mill as a rapper. I'm not with his rap style, if you will. Some people like that. I'm just not one of them. But I think it was just Drake was everybody's favorite at that time. He just kept coming out with banger after banger. So here come Meek Mill, and it's like, nah. I think that's what it was, for real, for real.
Yeah, it's strange.
Maybe he made a lot of money, though.
He kind of recovered when he got with Nicki, and then it fell off again.
No, they broke up right after that.
I know, but he was like having songs out and everything.
You know what it was with Meek, man? Meek's Achilles heel to me was actually Twitter.
Yeah, for sure.
And when Drake called him Twitter fingers, no, what did he say? What was it? Was it Twitter fingers?
Yeah,
right?
Twitter fingers.
When he called them Twitter fingers.
Trigger finger turned to Twitter fingers.
Trigger finger turned to Twitter fingers. And it's just like every time Meek tweets, even
it's
now,
crazy,
to
bro.
this day.
It's crazy. It's pure entertainment.
And I Meek, you know what I'm saying?
Nah,
I think Meek does a lot for his community. He's been a great, symbol for the city of Philly. I love what he does with reform. But I probably would have deleted my Twitter after Twitter fingers. And just flooded the streets with nothing but music.
You're forgetting the Diddy stuff, too?
Guys, we're insane to talk every week.
What?
We're insane to talk every week.
But we're podcasters.
Twitter, only Elon makes money. Do you know what I mean?
That's a good point.
Call me a hater too, but I didn't think that the opinion that Meek Mill didn't bounce back from the Drake beef was controversial. I just thought we all just acknowledged that as a fact. I mean, how can Meek Mill argue with it? Before the Drake beef, Meek Mill was like a top 5 rapper, I guess, in hip hop. After the Drake beef, Meek Mill hasn't sold 100,000 since. Like, Meek Mill has fell off. He's washed. So I just thought Meek Mill knew that. I thought everybody knew that, but apparently this was news to Meek Mill, and he was very upset at Charlamagne the God for saying this publicly, even though we all think this. So Meek Mill took to, again, Twitter, the very same place Charlamagne the God and Andrew Schultz expressed, is the reason why Meek Mill hasn't bounced back from this Drake beef. So Meek Mill took to Twitter to go at Charlamagne the God. Meek Mill needs a PR team badly, more than anybody to ever live. Meek Mill, in his response to Charlamagne the God, made an unbelievably stupid mistake as well. So Meek Mill, in response to Charlamagne the God saying that Meek Mill never bounced back, he reposted a video of Charlamagne the God talking about watching the R. Kelly tapes. Now, Charlamagne, the quote of Charlamagne the God is kind of out of context because Charlamagne the God did call it evil, what R. Kelly did, but he also said what R. Kelly did was incredible in terms of when R. Kelly came, pissed, then came again. From my perspective, is no excuse. There's nothing incredible about what R. Kelly did. R. Kelly is a monster.
That was sick.
But Charlamagne the God said this. Meek Mill, while trying to, I guess, critique and shame Charlamagne the God for saying that, Meek Mill would also admit to watching child porn. So Meek Mill says, these the media personalities y'all put in front of us to listen to. In jail, we really used to torture perverts like this. I seen the R. Kelly tapes. I thought it was trifling. A grown man was peeing on a little girl and could register that at the age of like, you know what, right? The girl was really, really, really young. But why you seen the tapes? But you knew beforehand because you knew beforehand the girl was young. You knew beforehand the girl on the R. Kelly tape was young. And you said you seen the tapes while critiquing somebody for being a pervert. So you are admitting to watching child porn while also critiquing somebody who also watched child porn. Just stupid, bruh. But it didn't stop here. Meek Mill then took to Instagram to write this paragraph, responding back to Charlamagne the God, saying he didn't bounce back after the Drake beef, which, again, I didn't think was controversial. Meek Mill goes, so I want to make this a main post to highlight the real propaganda that's taking place in the hip-hop community. I need everyone to leave a comment if you see what's happening. What propaganda is there against Meek Mill? Oh, my... Yo, I've never met anybody more delusional than Meek, bruh. Meek, the man said he rock with you. He F with you. He said, yo, Meek Mill got a song, Dreams of Nightmare. It's an anthem. It's legendary. But Meek Mill ain't bounced back since the Drake. What propaganda is? Why are you crying about this? Other people, like academics, have said worse about you, Meek. You don't want to make an enemy with somebody who's an ally of you.
Well, I mean, I don't really know what him not agreeing with Charlamagne is going to necessarily do to him that would make anything any worse. When the last time Meek Mill put out any body of work that was like, yo, this hard? Like, I don't remember. Like I said, I don't listen to Meek like that. Maybe y'all can tell me in the comments, but I mean, for him to be getting, I mean, hey, you never know what could trigger somebody. You feel me? And the music ain't really hitting like that. You got all of the stuff going on with Diddy, and he ended up in that too. So you never know what will push somebody's switches, man. Everybody on edge nowadays, feel me?
I don't think y'all understand how life works. You don't make enemies of people who are neutral. Make enemies of your enemies, not of people who are neutral. This is just like pure critique. He says, I need everyone to leave a comment if you see what's happening now and how they're trying to downgrade artist brands from feeding a family. Let's go through it. The white hit also boosted, what? The white hit also boosted didn't rumor on his major platform with no evidence. Do not go on these platforms only. What?
Yo, let me tell y'all something, man. Let me tell y'all something, yo. People need to go back to school. They need to go back to school and they need to learn how to put together a sentence. You see what texting on a phone and typing has done? People can't even put together a complete sentence and get a complete thought out in text form because they done got so accustomed to just like abbreviating everything. Like, how the hell are you supposed to make what this nigga trying to say? Come on.
Meek Mill don't speak English, bro. Meek Mill,
he doesn't
Meek,
speak English.
What? Do not go on these platforms, only us. Can y'all
What are
see
we
my
talking
brand
about?
back heating up nowadays? Please. Oh, okay. So Meek Mill says, since the Drake beef, I dropped Tap 3 platinums, PETA double platinum, Blue Notes 1 and 2 platinum, Uptown Vibes with Legend from Brooklyn, Fab platinum, What's Free featuring Jay-Z, Meek Mill, I think is platinum. F on Me featuring Cardi B platinum. Scarface with Rick Ross, gold, independent money.
I'm trying to think if I heard any of these songs.
Respect the Game platinum. 24/7 double platinum. Dangerous platinum. Meek Mill is naming songs from that particular era, I believe. Because even like you naming like Dangerous, like that's from like that particular era, right? I know the last Meek Mill hit that I can remember is a song with Friday. And that feels like one of Meek Mill's only hits in the last 5 years. So Meek says, I don't collect plaques, LOL. Championship album, like double plat. Yeah, but the championship album dropped, I think, immediately after the beef. So that explains it, right? But if we're looking at Meek Mill's career and the trajectory it was on before the Drake beef, Meek fell off. Now, Meek Mill had some cool records. The song of Friday, I think, is amazing. But Meek Mill was an artist selling 200,000 copies first week, and Meek was looked at as one of the top 5 guys in hip-hop. So Meek says, I dropped Expensive Pain Gold, and it wasn't marketed correctly, leaving labels. Cybertruck 5 a.m. in Philly. How far we came. He actually switched up on Drake because he helped power the Meek was done narrative was done. Huh? He actually switched up on Drake because he helped power the Meek was done narrative was done. Bro, I ain't gonna lie, yo. Meek don't speak English, bro. Now he's using the same against Drake. Drake, good with me and Jay-Z. Keep me out this weak-ass ish. I had a meeting with A16s, found a lot of new tech deals and activations just from playing around tweeting. I forgot Proud of Me. Is almost platinum. 1942 flows platinum. Bro,
Yo, stop reading.
Right, bro. So
Cut it out.
Meek continues to list songs that are platinum. And then he goes, we got to keep a close eye on this cat. I feel like he in the closet. What does Charlamagne the God's well, he's not a homosexual, but what does the sexuality have to do with anything? We got to keep a close eye on this cat. I feel like he in the closet. Gay man that hates successful black men unless he's doing business with them, but I could be wrong. Oh, and I'm powering help pop like 10 artists off on the East. No cash gain for charity. Okay, yeah, bro. I'm done reading whatever hieroglyphics Meek is writing. Now, Charlamagne the God responded back to Meek Mill, going off on him, and here's what he had to say.
Cat, I feel like he's in the closet gay man that hates successful black men unless he's doing business with them, but they promoted I'm gay, and I'm helping pop like 10 artists off on the East Coast, no cash for gain for charity. I'm really the one, but it's some real propaganda on my brand. And I want to investigate it.
Drop on the clues bombs for Meek Mill. I never said he didn't drop any music. I said if I was Meek, I would have deleted my Twitter and just kept dropping music. I would only talk through the music because every single time Meek posts, the internet turns it into a joke. Y'all was just laughing at him last week because he posted about being on LinkedIn.
Yeah, they were.
And I said on Brilliant Idiots, the propaganda. I didn't say propaganda, but I said the way they act with Meek is strange, and I agree with Meek. The propaganda against Meek is strange, and it started with that battle. And at least on social media, the narrative around him hasn't recovered.
It started with the battle. The sad thing about Meek is he gets busy, he gets nice, he puts out great music. He's an inspiration to a lot of these artists. G Herbo said he's the reason why he even wanted to get into music. But sadly, because of everything that's been going on with social media after that beef, he's been the butt of a lot of people's jokes.
Regardless of what he does. And he does some great things. We always give Meek credit for the great things.
And it doesn't matter what he does.
He drops, too, because there has been music that I feel like people didn't, remember.
Yeah, I think that it just has a lot to do with the times and just who's controlling the industry and just who's controlling the airways, basically, and just the overall feeling of people. You know what I mean? Like, at least at that time, everybody was just Drake. Everybody was Draked out. You know what I'm saying? And so here comes Meek, even though he's put out, bodies of work that people can appreciate, it pales in comparison to what Drake was doing. So it's just nobody didn't want nobody. Everybody was just like, oh, you coming at Drake? Like, that's a big mistake. You, Meek, like, you don't got the bodies of work that Drake got. That's what people's thinking was, I think, in that situation. So yeah, he's never really recovered from that for real. I mean, I'm sure, he's put out work and stuff like that, but don't nobody care. But now look what's going on with Drake. It seems like every rapper has their moment. They have their decline, or they're just not the it rapper anymore. You know what I'm saying? And Drake's going through the same damn thing.
Remember the Heathens? There was a lot of things that he dropped.
Championships, wins and losses, even though that was almost 10 years ago, that was a great project. I do agree with Meek. The propaganda against him is strange.
Yes, it's horrible.
And it started with that battle, at least on social media, right? And the narrative around him on social media is what I mean when I say he hasn't fully recover.
Right.
Because he's done some amazing stuff.
He has. He sells out
Absolutely.
arenas. He sells out. He does a lot of dope ish. But like you said, the propaganda around him is taking what he's done and what he's built and tries to make a mockery of it. So
Every time he posts.
if you're Meek, you understand why he would be upset. Like
Yes.
absolutely positively, they done made this man gay.
You see what I mean when I say you make a mistake when you go at people who aren't your enemy. See, Charlamagne the God just gave an example. Yo, I was like praising Meek and giving Meek props this day and this day and this day. I was advocating for Meek. Now Meek is going off on me. Now, again, you think Charlamagne may not have said it right now, but you think Charlamagne the God will be more prone to defend Meek after what Meek just did, after what Meek just shared? No, he won't. No. Now Meek just turned somebody who's neutral, who was advocating for you one day, critiquing you the next day. He just turned that person into now a full-fledged, full-time enemy who was probably a part-time op.
I don't know if he was like a full-blown enemy. I just think Charlamagne is the type of dude that just lets things roll off his shoulder. Like, okay, Meek was just having a moment. You know, his whole entire career up until or since that beef or whatever has just been slander. You know what I'm saying? Or he's whack, or he's this, or he's that. So any little thing that you say, even though it's like constructive criticism, could come off like, oh, you hating, or you trying to get on my case because I didn't do this. So I'm gonna just come at you like, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's how Meek took it, even though Charlamagne was trying to, you know, just tell him like, look, you know, you probably should have stayed off of Twitter and just kept dropping music. But let's be for real. Would it have even mattered if he did keep dropping music? Was anybody going to really rock with it like that at that time when Drake was just on his ascension? I mean, Drake was already up at that point. But like, would have anybody cared? You feel me? So I don't think Charlamagne is like his full-blown enemy. I don't think that.
Who was probably part-time critiquing you or making fun of you part-time. Now, guess what? Every time your name comes up, they got something negative to say. Right? They got something negative to say. And that's not smart. You don't turn half-time or part-time enemies into full-time enemies. You either just ignore them or you play cool. Now, I don't play them close, but you play cool or ignore them. The worst thing you want to do is in this game, in this media, is to turn somebody into an enemy, especially somebody who gives his opinion as often as Charlamagne the God, like who got a platform to where he's giving opinions, he's critiquing. He got a platform that he's seen every day. He's seen every day. Making that person your enemy is gonna end bad for you as a rapper. The only thing I would have supported Meek doing is if Charlamagne the God was somebody who every time he opened up his mouth had something bad to say about Meek, Meek, like crash out. I had to do that. Right? I had to do that, man. All right? Like one of these suckers, some weirdo, man, who work at No Jumper, like got to lying and capping on my name. You feel me? Got to just lying, bro. I had to let them know, hey, bro, we not cool. Understand? We not cool. Right? Like you doing you feel me? Like the slick dissing and lying on me and saying, oh man, you know, I rock with Flacco though. Nah, I had to let them know, right? In our little No Jumper chat. We not cool. I don't rock with you. Make it clear, I don't like you. Things like that, that's when it's understandable. When every time this person opened up their mouth, it was something negative. I had to let them know, I don't rock with you. I don't care if we both had No Jumper. I don't like you. So now they don't need to be fake no more. But if it was somebody who, let's say, like 10% of the time they said something bad, then 90% it was something good, I'm not about to crash out over that 10% and then trade away that 90% and turn that 90% into 100% all negative. Let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, man? Do y'all believe Meek Mill is tripping? Or is Meek Mill on point, man? Did Charlamagne the God violate Meek Mill? Let me know, okay? And if you're still watching this video and you want to...
That's going to be the end of the video. So, you asked me personally, I kind of can understand how Meek feels. You know, every time you turn around and your name is brought up in the press, in the media, it's never nothing good. And so here we go again. You bringing up the Drake beef that he had, and it's already known that he was on the losing end of that situation. So it's like, why even bring it up? You know what I'm saying? And then you're talking about me being on Twitter. So it was a honest and good critique on Charlamagne's part, but you know, Meek ain't take it that way. It's like, oh, you could keep my name out your mouth type shit. Like that's how he felt about it. But I wouldn't necessarily say he's tripping too much. Meek probably just need a hug, man. He probably just needs somebody to just like, you know, tell him like, yo, man, it's all good. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? Or just make some music or something. You know what I mean? Rap is in the toilet right now, for real, unless you're listening to the underground shit. But yeah, y'all get down below. Y'all let me know what y'all think on that. I'm going to be sure to link this video in case y'all want to go check out some more of his videos. Make sure you click all the buttons. You know what I'm saying? And y'all talk amongst each other in the comments. With that being said, it's your boy Robbie. We gone.